Let's make the best 6-ball arsenal in 2025 using 6 of the Brunswick brands. If you're a fan of the channel, you noticed that we already did a hammer review of an arsenal. So now we're going to go over to the other 6 brands of Brunswick, put all of them together and pick what are the top 2 bowling balls from every single category of those 6 brands. If you enjoy what we do here, if you enjoy our arsenal makers, let me know down below in the comments. I read every single comment, so I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Otherwise, make sure to like and subscribe. It's completely free and it's the best way to support the channel. On the channel, we have 6 different categories that we put bowling balls into to build a bowling bag. We have strong smooth, strong sharp, medium smooth, medium sharp, weak smooth, and weak sharp. We are going to have descriptions for all of those as we get to them. So we're going to start with the strong and smooth category. These are generally the first balls out of your bag on something heavier or something longer for an oil pattern. These are generally asymmetrical solids or dull asymmetrical pearls. These are the strongest bowling balls on the market today. So our number one option from the 6 brands of Brunswick is going to be the Mesmerize. The Brunswick Mesmerize came out in August of 2024. This was a series that they did pairing it with the Vaporize. They were supposed to be like Vapor Zone type reactions, and this ball is amazing. This ball has really held its mark. It's one of the earliest hooking bowling balls on the market, but yet it's very sharp down lane. Very, very odd. Usually early hooking bowling balls are very smooth, like the second one we'll mention, but this one's pretty sharp. So if you want something to hook early and you want it to still finish down lane, this could be a really good choice for you. And the number 2 bowling ball on the list is going to be the Track Criterion. The Track Criterion was an asymmetrical solid ball. This is like a reinvention or a culmination of a lot of track asymmetrical balls in the past. I believe it was the Paradox, Paradigm, and the Archetype all put into one for this bowling ball, and it really delivers. Track usually is very, very good with their asymmetrical bowling balls. This Criterion is no joke then. This is probably one of the best asymmetrical solid balls of the last year. It's probably a top 5 one. Unfortunately, there's a lot of really good ones out on the market from other brands, and the Mesmerize also is amazing, so that's why it's only number 2 right now. But this one is one you definitely shouldn't sleep on. This one is very, very good. If you liked the Paradox, Paradigm, or the Archetypes, I'd recommend looking at this Criterion. It's going to hook in about the same spot as the Mesmerize, but it's going to be a lot smoother down lane, a lot more forward bowling ball motion compared to the Mesmerize. And the next category is going to be the strong and sharp category. These are going to be bowling balls that are generally asymmetrical pearls or shiny hybrids. They're going to be coming after your asymmetrical solid bowling balls, your strong smooth balls. These are going to be ones that are going to hook a little bit later and be a little bit sharper down lane. These are also going to be the best bowling balls for house shots, in my opinion. Very high risk, high reward bowling balls. Now, going to the number 1 ball, this is going to sound very familiar to fans of the channel, and that is because it's our number 1 ball of 2024. That is the Track Theorem. This is a hybrid middle strength cover stock, hybrid medium strength asymmetrical core bowling ball that really, really works on a lot of things. It really is best for house shots. This is truly a house shot bowling ball. Kind of reminds me of like a weaker Storm Equinox, or pretty similar to the Attention Star from Roto Grip. However, it's just a little bit smoother, a little bit rounder, which is exactly what you want to see on a sport shot. So this is really a jack of all trade bowling ball. Most Brunswick staffers have a Theorem in their bag a lot of the time. Now, Brunswick has a lot of amazing asymmetrical shiny bowling balls right now, but this Theorem really shouldn't be slept on, even though it's a year and a half old at this point. This still should be the number 1 bowling ball in the strong and sharp category. And now the number 2 ball is actually one that pairs with the Brunswick Mesmerize, and that is the Vaporize. This ball has been on the list for probably about 6 to 7 months now because it really is that good. This is basically a virtual energy blackout, but Brunswick's variant of it. This is supposed to be very similar to the OG Vapor Zone. The core is similar. The cover is, of course, stronger because that ball's so old, but it is a really round pearl shape. This is a ball that you can get really far left with, will come off the spot pretty hard, but still be fairly strong in the mid lane because the core is a little bit stronger and the cover stock isn't too angular, isn't too weak. So this really is another jack of all trades bowling ball similar to the Theorem. It's a little earlier, a little bit sharper than the Theorem in my opinion, but it is still very, very similar. This is going to be one of the best pearl shiny options. It's also one of the most unique ones from the Brunswick brands. Coming up next is the medium and smooth category. This is the category that we usually call the benchmark bowling ball. This is the middle of your bag. You can have bowling balls above and below it. This is generally a symmetrical solid or symmetrical dull hybrid bowling ball. Slightly stronger cores usually, slightly stronger cover stocks, but not as strong as a strong category. We are going to go to number one of the best bowling balls of the year. This one has had a really long history that's been fantastic. That is the Ebonite Game Breaker 5. This is one of the best bang for your bucks in bowling, one of the cheapest bowling balls on the list today. And it is just very smooth, very slow, very good from straight, very continuous. You just always know what it's going to do. This is Brunswick's version of the Phase 2. It is really just smooth, continuous, just consistent. You know what it's going to do. If it's leaving 10 pins, you know to switch out of it. If it's striking a lot, you know you can stay in the same part of the lane for a long time. This ball is also really good shiny, so it's highly versatile. And the number 2 ball on the list is actually a newer bowling ball, and that is the Track Stealth Mode. The Stealth Mode is just a remake of the OG Track Stealth, which was, again, one of Track's better bowling balls of the last couple of years. Track made a solid hybrid in Pearl, and they said, let's run it back with the solid version again. So they remade the solid version, slight tweak to the cover stock to make it hook a little bit earlier and be a little bit smoother, but that's really about it. This ball is just like the original Track Stealth, really slow, really continuous, really good on longer patterns and heavier oil. And if you watch any of the PBA telecasts for 2025, you're going to see this ball and the Game Breaker 5 on there a lot. This is a ball that a lot of guys threw. Tim Foy, when he made so many TV shows, was throwing this thing all the time. So you definitely have seen this bowling ball. And again, like the Game Breaker 5, it also does really well shiny. It kind of fits into a weird spot where it's just a step below your stronger bowling balls when shiny, but it still has that continuous and smooth shape down lane. Next, we are moving on to the medium and sharp category. These are going to be the bowling balls that you throw after your benchmark bowling balls hooking too early, too smooth, if it's leaving too many 10 pins, and you just need a ball to get further down lane. These are generally symmetrical bowling balls with slightly stronger to medium strength cores, and then with pearl or shiny hybrid cover stocks. Coming up in the first slot is going to be one of those shiny hybrid cover stocks, and that is the GB4 Hybrid. This is still the old Game Breaker, but it still has the same exact core. All the Game Breakers have the same 248048 core. However, this one has a weaker hybrid cover stock on it. This is one of the smoothest medium sharp balls on the market today. It is really a sport shot player's dream come true. This is a ball that's going to get much further down lane, but still be smooth, so it's not going to be too angular when it sees friction. So it's going to be great on harder patterns. Is it going to be that great on house shots? It's good yet. It's good on house, but not as good as it is on sport shots. So I had to put this one in here for all of our tournament bowlers because this one is really good for those tournament guys. And now coming up next is going to be the Theorem Pearl. Yes, there is a Pearl version of the original Theorem. This is nearly identical, kind of the same exact idea, different colorway, and then it just has a Pearl version of the same exact cover stock formula. So very basic. We knew we were going to get more Theorems. The original did so well. You had to get a Pearl and a solid version. I'm hoping there's a solid version coming soon. But we have the Pearl version right now. This one's actually pretty weak. This is weaker than the original by a good amount, which is odd because it's just a Pearl version of the original cover, so they should be really similar, but they aren't as similar as you'd expect. That's why this one's in the medium and sharp category. This is a much better house shot ball compared to the GB4 Hybrid. Being a little bit asymmetric, even though it's kind of minor, it still does really good on cliffed oil patterns. That's where there's a lot of oil in the middle of the lane, not much oil on the outsides of the lane. That's really where this ball is going to excel. Now, this next category is interesting. This is the weak and smooth category. These are going to be bowling balls that can get really far down lane, but also be smoother. So things like IQ Tours, Ion Pros, Max Thrill Solids. Usually we'd have bowling balls in this category. However, Brunswick has nothing in this category. There are no bowling balls that fit in this weak and smooth category for Brunswick bowling. Very weird. I don't know why they don't have any bowling balls in this slot. The only one in the 7 brands is the Arctic Vibe, and that one is very iffy on if it fits in weak smooth or medium smooth. So unfortunately, this category is empty. And finally, we are on the weak and sharp category. These are going to be the longest bowling balls in your bag. These are going to hook the latest and be sharper down lane. These are going to be the get out of jail free card in case the lanes are completely toasted. You're getting into game 6, 7, 8 of a tournament. They didn't put out much oil, or you're on a house shot and you really need something to get down lane. That's where these balls come into play. The number one bowling ball on the list is an interesting one. It is the Ivory Rhino Pro. This is a pearl version of that original teal Rhino that came out a couple of years ago. That was one of the last weak and smooth balls that Brunswick has made. That ball was kind of hit or miss. This Ivory Rhino is a lot better. It gets really far down lane. This has one of the highest RGs in the game. So if you watch my hammer video, you know I said the same thing about the Anger. This ball is very similar to the Anger, just a lot smoother when it sees friction. This one really reminds me of a weaker high road, like original high road from Storm. It is going to get really far down lane, but also be very smooth. Also, the white color makes it want to hook earlier, but because the RG is so high, it really doesn't want to. Overall, this is probably one of the better weak and sharp options on the market today. And the final one on the list, the number 2 weak and sharp bowling ball, is going to be the Fireball Purple and Gold, Pitbull's favorite bowling ball on the list. This is just a different colorway of the original Ebonite Fireball. Nothing too crazy with this bowling ball. High RG, low differential, really weak cover. This is going to be a step above those really weak bowling balls like the Raw series, but not much of a step above. This is going to get really far down lane, be a little bit sharper. It's going to be a little smoother than you'd expect, but sharper than the Ivory Rhino when it sees friction. This ball really just is that when the lanes are toasted, you're on wood lanes, you have a really high rev rate, you go to this one, it's going to get far down lane, and then it's going to just snap a little bit on the back end. And that will do it for our 6-ball arsenal from the 6 brands of Brunswick, excluding hammer bowling. What do you think of our list below? We had the top 2 options from every single category. Do you like that? Do you like what we picked? What did I miss in here? I know there's a lot of bowling balls from Brunswick right now. I believe about 40 or 50 on the market. So I probably missed a couple good ones that you guys like. Let me know down below in a comment. Otherwise, make sure to like and subscribe. I will have a final video with a culmination of all of these arsenal videos to pick the best arsenal in bowling right now. So make sure to subscribe for that. Otherwise, I will see you on the next one.